Hello everyone, Neve here, and I have a new deck for you. So if you saw my my birthday loot video, my birthday haul, you will already be aware that I got this. And also it's probably in the title of the video, but I received for my birthday, well, here was the box it came in. I'm not going to show the other side because it's got my address, but I got the Kalat cards. Yeah, really excited about this. Before I open this up and look inside and do all that jazz, and by the way, I have opened this and looked at the cards, but they're all still in order. I haven't used this deck at all. I wanted to wait until I did this walkthrough video before I did that. But I do want to also show what else came in the package. So this was actually a really kind gift from Coco here on YouTube. I think her channel is Coco's Spiritual Journey, and she does have 2 channels now, and I will make sure to link both of those down in the description. And she's been a friend of mine for quite some time now. She's kind of in 2 worlds of mind, the tarot world and also the Japanese world, because she is Japanese and speaks Japanese, so yeah, we kind of bond on that. She is the one who kindly sent me this deck, and I can't remember if this is okay to share. Yes, it is. Okay. So it's from Kie or Coco. There we go. Because it was shipped from Dennis Kalat, the Kalat team, they also sent me a letter, which was really nice. And I'll go ahead and let you guys read that here. All right. And down at the bottom, our website, in addition to English, the guide is also available in Dutch, French, German, Norwegian, and Spanish. Because I do believe that Dennis Kalat is from the Netherlands. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Anyway. And he also sent 2 extra cards. One is a business card here. Here we go. And the other is this Salt Witch card, which I didn't realize was what he was talking about in this letter, because it was talking about a Salt Witch card, and because this one is the same type of material as this business card, I kind of thought it was just a business card, so I didn't even think to look at it as the Salt Witch card that he was talking about. I think I was thinking it was like a card, like an extra card in here. So this is a special thing. So I will definitely keep this with the deck. So that's fantastic. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and open this up and we can check out these cards. So it comes with this beautiful guidebook. Let me set that to the side here. Gorgeous guidebook here. The artwork is amazing in this deck. So this deck is, oh yeah, here we go. Dennis Kalat is Dutch and Swiss. Okay. Yeah, and so it's kind of, this deck is kind of Lenormand-esque. It's kind of a Lenormand deck. In fact, in the back, it talks about how to read the cards, and it's mostly describing Lenormand. I mean, because we have the 9-card box here, which is a typical Lenormand layout. But it can be read with just 1 card, which is different than Lenormand. Lenormand, you kind of need to use other cards to read, because like one individual card doesn't really provide much information. Lenormand is sort of meant to be read with the other cards surrounding it, like as if it was part of a grand tableau. And speaking of, there is a grand tableau. However, they call it the Table of Seasons, and that is because this deck is split up in seasons. There are a total of 52 cards, and yeah, so it's split up in the 4 seasons like that. And 52 cards makes sense because there's 52 weeks in a year, so that's kind of how it's supposed to be set up here. And then, of course, there's knighting, which is a total Lenormand thing, and it's my favorite thing to do in Lenormand. I love knighting the cards. And And then there's a bit more, and there's talking about gender, some of the gendered cards. Yeah, so very, very interesting deck. I'm very fascinated with this. Oh, and it's talking about mirroring, 53 mirror cards. Oh, okay, so that's Lenormand-esque. Sphere of Seasons, and talking about breaking up basically the Grand Tableau into the boxes. Yeah, so I mean, it's a very, very fascinating deck. Yeah, so let's go ahead and go into the cards here. Now, the box did arrive a little bit damaged here. It just kind of arrived like this, so I don't know what happened there, but it did arrive damaged, but it's not a big deal to me because I do plan to create a bag for this, so I will probably not be keeping it in the box itself. So that's okay. So now it was interesting because this kind of starts off with card number 51. It's 51 and 52, and then it goes into 1, 2, 3, 4 for the rest of the cards. And I'm not exactly sure why it does that. I had to double check in the book itself. Yeah, I don't know why it started with cards 51 and 52. On the longest night of December, when we celebrate Return of the Light, they're in week 51. Oh, got it. Okay. It's because it's the end of the year. So it's week 51 and week 52. But it's Yule, basically. That's where we're starting at. And then we go into the year. And there are some significator cards at the end here. So that makes so much more sense. I didn't even think about that when I was looking at this. And they each card has these symbols on there. Let me see if I can find the symbols. Yeah, it looks like it says yogi to me, or yoga. But that symbol is for winter. And then let's see. So then the spiral is summer. So it's winter, spring, summer, and autumn. So that's what the symbols mean. Some cards have a time location marker to indicate where the card can be found at the start, middle, or end of the season. These markers have influence. So very interesting, very, very, very interesting system here. I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, here we go. So, I mean, look at this artwork. It's just like absolutely stunning. I focus. Thank you. And this is like the new year because it's weeks 51 and 52. Come on. It does not want to focus on these cards. There we go. I mean, the artwork on this is just absolutely stunning. And it's very, there's no specific time period that I feel like this is from. It's, I don't know, it doesn't quite feel modern. It feels very Victorian to me, especially the winter cards, but like the winter season feels very Victorian to me in general. I'm like, I should go through and see what the names of these cards are as I'm going through this, but it is what it is. I mean, we're obviously in winter here, so there's a lot of winter energy. This feels very much like the Tower to me. And this is like a ring and heart. Okay, and now we've entered spring here. So it's a very, very seasonal deck. So if you read seasonally, I like the Kalat cards may be kind of perfect for that. And it's kind of great for a year-long study. You know what I mean? Because then you could just use one card a week. And in fact, I may do that. Not in 2025. I have too many things to do in 2025 to do a study of this particular deck. But maybe in 2026, I might do this where I just spend a week throughout the year, like every week doing a card here. And I feel like there's maybe a significator card per season because I'm seeing a person card kind of in each so far in each season. I really like this card here. I don't know if it's door or key, or both. But yeah, I really like that. The well, and then this is like a traveling cart. Okay, and now we've entered summers because this is Bjoltana. Yeah, because that's a pretty traditional Bjoltana. thing there. Or, you know, start of summer season. I love this bee card. Oh, and the coins? I really like this. I'm not exactly sure how I want to use this deck, but I mean, it is very Lenormand-like, and I've really been gravitating toward those style of decks. Not even specifically Lenormand, which I do love, and I have Lenormand decks. I have a Lenormand deck that I created myself that's available on MakePlayingCards. It's called the Long Weekend Lenormand. Because I created it all in one long weekend. So that's available there. But like in general, like I found that I'm really enjoying the cartomantic style decks. And I think this is the last of the summer cards. And now we're going into autumn, and this makes me think of Beauty and the Beast, of course. I can't tell if it's focused because the way my tripod here is set up, my phone is in there, and the thing that goes around my phone to hold it goes right in the middle of my screen. So like I can't quite tell if I'm focused or not. So because the cards are just like right there in the center. This is like a birthday cake of sorts. I like that. Yeah, even the other cards, like the summer season didn't feel too Victorian to me, but the winter and autumn feel very Victorian. Oh, focus. Okay. But, I mean, there's a telephone here, so, I mean, that kind of gives some sort of indication of what season we're in. And look, we have a Ouija board here with the Kalat card symbol. Sorry, I'm a little silent here. I'm just sort of looking at the cards. Not really giving my viewpoint here on this. Just enjoying the cards here. The artwork is just stunning. And then the final card is here, and this is card number 50 before we go into the last two cards of the season. And then we have some significator cards, looks like. A dog, a young woman and an older woman, maybe? Or maybe they're not. Oh, no, maybe this is a child? And then some sort of adult. I can't quite tell, but there are some significator cards here as well. I don't know if I want to keep these in here. Maybe they should be kept separate. In fact, I think that's what I'll do for right now. I'll just keep these separate, and maybe I'll use them later. So, some significator cards there. All right, so now we're kind of at the point where I want to see about pairing. And so... All right, let's bring the first thing that I was thinking about doing here, because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about pairing this deck. Because the first deck I have pulled out here is the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, which has been a deck that I've really been enjoying. Like, I really, really love this deck. It's just a general Oracle deck. However, it feels very much like a Lenormand to me, except that it's 88 cards instead of the normal 36. Oh, we're getting some wind pickup here, and some acorns are falling on the roof here. So sorry if you're hearing some popping noises. That's just the acorns. Yeah, so this deck feels very much like a Lenormand deck to me. But of course, since it's way more than the typical 36 cards of a Lenormand, this is 88 cards, which is a number I love, because my favorite number is 8. So I really enjoy that there's 88 cards in here. But because of the simplicity of this deck, it feels very much like a Lenormand, and so I use it like a Lenormand. So I do a 9-card box with it. This is my typical reading of this deck, is pulling out a 9-card box. I have tried other layouts, and they're just fine, but I really prefer the 9-card box with this deck. And I think I just like that there's so many cards, and I really read this deck very intuitively. It does come with a little paper that has some suggested meanings for the cards, but it also encourages you to come up with your own meanings and to read this deck very intuitively. And so I do try to do that. I do sometimes peek at their suggested meanings, just to maybe if I'm a little stumped. But in general, I really try to read this intuitively, and I do plan to do some sort of study of this on my channel. I think I want to kind of do come up with my own intuitive meanings for the cards. But anyway, this isn't about this deck. The reason I pulled this out and I'm talking about this is because these two decks have a similar sort of vibe to them. They're both very Lenormand-like, for me anyway. And because of that, I haven't really wanted to pair this deck with other decks. But because these two decks are pretty similar and they kind of have a very similar coloring to them, I thought maybe I could give this a try. Maybe what we could kind of do, let's go ahead and shuffle these, by the way, because I have not done that yet. This is the first time I'm shuffling them. They're a little stiff, shuffling them like that. I could try to do a side shuffle where it's very loose, and that might be helpful here because they are quite stiff. They're not super thick or anything, but they are very stiff. I don't know how I felt about the side shuffling there, but let's give it another shot here. And I'm very loosely doing it. Yeah, that's fine. I think maybe I might have to stick with overhand shuffling for this one. But maybe over time there will be more of a bend to it and I'll be able to shuffle these more easily. As in a riffle shuffle. Also, I didn't say this in the beginning, but these are actually a lot smaller than I initially thought they were going to be. And I don't know why, but seeing pictures of these and also seeing other people use this deck, I don't know why, but for some reason in my mind, I was thinking they were larger. I think I was thinking they were like the size of this book. So I was imagining larger cards. And it is not a bad thing at all that they're smaller. I prefer this, especially with this kind of deck, with a deck that's Lenormand-like, especially if you're going to do a kind of grand tableau, all the cards laid out sort of thing. I really prefer my Lenormand decks to be smaller. So I'm actually really happy with the size and pleasantly surprised with the size. And look at the gilding, by the way. I didn't talk about that. I love the size of this little mini oracle just because it's so simple. But let me see if I can use this almost like a house sort of situation. Like maybe what I could do, I can lay out, I'm just going to do a 6 card. And we'll go right here. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe we can lay out the houses with the Kalat cards. I might have to zoom out. Hold on. All right, that's a little better. We can maybe do like a 6 card thing like this, where these represent the houses. And then I can maybe pull just a card from here and kind of overlay them. So kind of like this sort of situation. Because I almost don't even want to cover the cards just because they're so there's so much artwork to it. Maybe I can do it like this. All right. I mean, this is pretty cool. Like, I do like this. I do like this deck with the Kalat cards or the Mildred Payne. Yeah, I mean, I do like this. I'm just not sure how much I like it. I don't know if... I think my problem with this is just because the Kalat cards are so intricate in their design, I kind of feel bad covering up any of the artwork because it's just really, really nice. So I wonder if we could do something like this and then use the Mildred Payne as sort of a clarifying over it, or use these as if they're houses, and then the actual reading is with the Mildred Payne. I don't know. But I like the way they look together. But, you know, we can try a different layout. Let's try something else here. Maybe we can do, like, we can separate out the seasons, and I'm going to pretend I've got all 4 seasons here, because I don't think I do. Yeah, I have a bunch of the spring ones out, and, oh, here's an autumn, so we'll put that one there. And maybe, let me see if I can find a winter one, and pretend that I have these separated out into the different seasons. So we could do something like that, where we have all 4 seasons out, and then we can do a 9-card box in the middle with these 2, 3. All right. Like, this could be cool, especially like a sort of a quick, simple year ahead, because that's kind of how I use the Mildred Payne. It's very quick and simple, quick and dirty, and that's kind of how I like this deck. It's a very quick and dirty kind of deck, and it's not the kind of deck that I pull out for like extravagant, really deep, meaningful readings. I like this deck for very everyday use, quick and dirty answers. You know, that's what I like this deck for. But it does look nice with this. And maybe instead of thinking about it like a time sort of thing, like we can more think about the energies of the seasons. And so if I'm doing a quick and dirty thing, I can pull out the different seasons to just kind of feel what is the energy that's being brought to this. That could be something I could do. But I do like this, and I like the look of this deck with this deck, because this deck is so intricate in the detail, whereas this one is very, very simple, and the colors kind of go together, I think. So yeah, I'm definitely going to experiment a bit more with the Mildred Payne to see how I can maybe blend these 2 decks together, maybe. Yeah, so let me try some tarot decks now. I did pull out 4 decks. I think all I'm going to do here is, I think I'm actually going to split these. I'm going to have the tarot deck in the middle. Just because the Kalat cards are a little smaller. They're on the smaller side. And I just kind of like the look of a larger deck in the middle. So I pulled out a few different decks here. So one of the decks I pulled out is my own personal reader. This is the Anna K. And I just sort of felt like maybe the imagery could go well together. Yeah, because the Anna K is a very dark deck with bold, like primary colors. And I'm just going to shuffle this real quick. Oh, this is such a good shuffle. A nice riffle and bridge. I really like this deck. Now, this is the mass market version, but there's a lot of like bright yellow in this deck. I mean, we start off with the sun here. This is a big chunk. Let me take a chunk off of this. There we go. So we're starting off with one of the bright yellow cards of the Anna K, but I felt like maybe this energy could lend itself well to the Kalat cards. Ooh, look at that. We've got the Tower in between what this is like a Christmas card. I don't know the names of these, so that is definitely something I'm going to have to really research with this deck, is try to remember what the names are. Oh, see, this one might be interesting with that, because it does have that sort of travel energy to it. By the way, I love that the backs are these, like this map. It's very, very fascinating. Like, it's almost like this is its own world here, which might be interesting to sort of read about. Ooh, I mixed in some cards that were upside down. Oh, dear. Oh, here we go. No, it's fine. Don't mind me. I was just losing my mind there for a second. So I like the vibes I'm getting from this. There's some sort of energy from the Kalat cards that I felt like maybe fit with the Anna K here. There's like the artwork's not quite the same, because Anna K's artwork is It's similar to this, but the people in here are much more stylized, and we kind of joke that the people in the Anna Kay kind of look like Cabbage Patch Dolls a little bit. They're slightly disproportionate, or there's something kind of off with the people in with the artwork of the people in the Anna Kay, but it's something I like. I like that. And it's something I feel very drawn to. But the Anna Kay is a deck that is my personal reader. I don't use the Anna Kay for other people. It's kind of my therapy deck, if that makes sense. It's a very personal deck, and I maybe because a lot of people use the term soul deck. And I don't know how I feel about that term for me personally, but it is a deck that I feel very much drawn to for me. Oh, this is interesting. There's almost a sort of communication sort of energy with both of these cards, because we have a spirit who is some sort of apparition who does seem to be there to communicate, and then we have the telephone, which is of course very communication-y, and then we have the Two of Pentacles in the center, sort of balancing, prioritizing, and juggling a lot of things in our lives right now. So maybe we're trying to juggle communication with multiple people. I don't know. And then the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, these cards are cool. With this looks like the Crossroads sort of card, and then this is like a tree. So something about growth, maybe. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna pull one more here. Oh, interesting. And then we'll go to another deck. So another deck I thought might look good with it is the Rain Shadow Tarot. And this is a pretty new deck for me. I've used it a few times this month, actually. Or the month of, this month, because we're in the second week of October now, as I film this. Ooh, this is huge. Let me take off a giant chunk here. So I use this as my nightly reader for the first week of October. However, I only did like 2 nights, so I did like 2 readings with this, and I have used it a little bit in September too. I do really, really like the artwork in this. I don't know how well it's gonna look with the Kalat cards, because it's kind of got a different vibe to it art-wise. Like, I think the texture I kind of like. Because the Kalat cards do have a little bit of a texture to it, and that's definitely something that is very prevalent in the Rain Shadow Tarot here. But I thought maybe the artwork could go well with each other, and we could get some messages here with the cards. Again, I don't remember I don't know what these cards are called, like the individual names of the cards. It's something I'm going to have to do a bit more of a study. I'm not sure how I feel about this, though. I'm just kind of going off of my initial vibes here of these 2 decks. This is interesting. Like, I feel like this is something that I'm not feeling as connected with this as I was with the Anna Kay. However, I'm getting situations like this coming up where it does sort of, there's something, I'm feeling something. There's definitely something that's coming up with this for me, and I feel like it's something that I would have to explore further, if that makes sense. That's very interesting. Let's do one more. All right. Oh, see, that's interesting. Huh. I don't know. I can't quite voice what it is that I'm getting from the stuff here. Ooh, let me see if I can focus this. It was a little not focused, and it's still kind of not focused. I don't know. It doesn't want to stay focused, but it's not. I can't quite come up with the words for this, but I like it. But I can't explain why. Like there is a connection that I'm seeing with these cards, but it's not quite something I can voice. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to put these ones away, and I'll pull out the next one. Okay, so I have one more that'll go in the center here, and then the last one is actually going to be a smaller one, so I'm going to switch them around. So I pulled out the Pagan Otherworlds. I don't know. It's hard to describe the vibe of the Kalat cards because they do, like, honestly, the closest thing I can come up with is Victorian. But the summer cards don't feel very Victorian. So it's interesting. It's kind of its own world. So, and this is definitely not Victorian. It's this deck, the Pagan Otherworlds, feels very, primal, but you know, the Rain Shadow feels very primal to me too. So maybe that sort of energy is something I'm feeling from this. But I thought the coloring of this might go well together. Maybe not so much with the summer cards, because again, those beachy cards sort of throw it off a little bit. But I don't know. What do we think about this? All right, just had to pause that because my husband came out to get some more coffee, and I got to say hi to my husband. So anyway, yeah, so this, I like the energy of these, I don't know, of this imagery with the Kalat cards. I don't know, there's something about this, just like, I think because this deck is more simple, and I think that's going to be the overarching theme of what kind of pairs well with these Kalat cards if I choose to pair them, because I don't know if I'm still, like, if I'm going to pair, but I think if I do, I think what goes well with these are decks that are just a little bit more minimalist, or a little more simple, but also doesn't have like a stark white sort of vibe to them, but because I kind of like the creaminess of this deck with the Kalat cards. I don't know, I do like this. And I almost never use my Pagan Otherworlds deck. Especially the winter and the autumn cards really look well with it, really look good with this. Yeah, I almost never use this deck, so I think I'm always trying to find a pairing that I like if I want to pair them. They are so large, though. I think that's part of why I don't use these, because I want to trim them. Basically what I want to do is I want to take off all the titleless sides of these. So like the top part of this, but the bottom part of this, you know, and maybe cut off the sides as well, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I think I really like the pips, especially with this deck. Yeah, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm liking that. Let me see if I can find some of the summery ones. Let me see. Well, actually, this one's quite summery. Put that over here. Maybe just the very beachy ones, because those are the only ones in this deck that I feel like are kind of throwing me off a little bit, like with the pairing at least. Let me see. Hold on. Let me find another summery card. I mean, there's this one. I mean, this is very beachy. That's a very interesting vibe there. Let's see. Are all these summer cards? I think all the summer cards are like in something here. Something like this. And then maybe this. I don't know. So that's not too bad. I mean, let me take off a chunk here. It's not too bad. Yeah. All right. It's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do the last pairing now. Okay, can you take a wild guess at the last deck that I'm going to try with this? It's a deck that or a deck collection, rather, that I'm constantly trying to bring out and pair with other decks. And that is, of course, the green glyphs. So if you've seen a lot of my past videos on the green glyphs, I do have a hard time pairing this one. I think I did actually really enjoy it with the Rain Shadow. I think. So I find that this deck is very difficult to pair with other decks, except with the decks in the Green Glyphs collection. They all definitely go together. But I also think they match really well with the other decks by James R. Eads, like the Cosma Visions and the Prisma Visions, especially the ones that I have, which are the pocket versions, and they're about the same size as these. Those also look really good with the Green Glyphs. But I find difficulty in pairing these with other decks. But so far, this is not bad. And I just pulled out the tarot. I didn't pull out any of the other Green Glyphs decks, just the tarot, because they all look pretty similar. I'm going to take off a chunk here. Let's see. I mean, the wintry cards are little, I don't know how I feel about that. It's not bad. And part of the issue that I have with the Green Glyphs with other decks is the coloring of it. Like, I'm going to do some, color adjustments when I when I edit this video, and which is something I always do so that the video looks nicer, which does slightly change the coloring of the cards a little bit. But these cards are like the coloring of the borders and stuff it's kind of it's beigey, but it's like a yellowy beigey. So it's kind of got, the Green Glyphs kind of have a yellow hue to them. I kind of like that. Let's see. Ooh. Huh. Yeah, that's really interesting. I do like it. And I think, because the Kalat cards don't have any borders to them, I think that really helps with pairing with the Green Glyphs. I also like that they're about the same size. Let me see. Oh, I think they might be exactly the same size. Oh, excellent. These are exactly the same size. I like that. So, I mean, I may have found another deck that I might want to try to use with the Green Glyphs. And there's also a Lenormand in this, and I could do the same sort of thing that I was trying to do with the Mildred Payne and use, maybe what I might use is, I would use the Green Glyphs Lenormand as the houses, and then use, basically switching what I had done before. Because the Green Glyphs is a lot more simple in its artwork, whereas the Kalat cards are very, very intricate, very detailed, very intricate. The Tower and the King of Cups with these blocks in the center. And let me go ahead and look this up. I don't even know what this is called. So this is in the spring, I think. What's it called? This is card number 21. Card number 2. Oh, dice. Okay, so it's dice. And I just kind of want to see what it says here. So gambling, playing games, lottery, luck, windfall, good fortune, benefit, risk, unpredictable, unexpected. And with the Tower, that's definitely unexpected. And the King of Cups is sort of a keeping emotions in check and sort of having, like, the King of Cups to me is a card, an energy that is very practical and logical. So it almost has that quality of the other suits, but there's a level of compassion with the King of Cups. So it's keeping a level of compassion, but also not letting emotions sort of override their sense of logic or the more practical side of the personality. And it really is keeping those emotions in check, but also acknowledging those emotions. And that's kind of the King of Cups vibe to me. So we have this sort of unpredictable, destructive sort of energy going on here. With the Tower, it's very sudden, and we can imagine these dice are just falling to the ground, but in the end we're sort of keeping our composure on this situation, and we're keeping things steady and still acknowledging that those feelings are there. Like it's still there, but keeping our composure, and that's sort of how I might interpret this. So I'm actually liking this. I do like this, and I think it really, really helps that they're the same size. And I think that's something that I like when it comes to the green glyphs. And in general, I really like the size of card. So like I said, when I first started this video, or, you know, when I was talking about the size of the cards, I really thought these were much larger. So I am very pleased that they are kind of small. I think it's like bridge size. Like, I'm not quite sure what the typical size of this is. I think it's bridge. Oh, this is interesting. 10 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. Look at that energy there with this card in the center. So this is card number 4. 4, Thief. So loss, reduction, decrease, theft, decay, little, scarcity. So I almost feel like this is sort of like this would be a difficult reading for sure. And I do think the bluer cards are clash a little bit with the green glyphs. But I almost feel like this is sort of a reaching out for help in such a difficult time, because even this card is a bit of a negative card. Well, you know, I don't know if this deck has negatives to it. Sorry about the dog there. So, but there's something, I almost, like, to me, if I was reading this intuitively, I would feel like this is, either this person is reaching out for help, or we're in a state where we're already depleted and people keep trying to take more. And that would maybe fit in more with the meaning of this card, where we don't have enough to give to other people here. Like, other people are sort of reaching out and trying to get help from us, but we're already at we're at the end here, you know? So that's really interesting. So, yeah, in general, I think I liked the green glyphs with this. I would test it out with some of the other green glyph cards. And I bet, you know, the Cosmovisions and Prismavisions would also look pretty good with this. I don't know, but maybe that's something to try out later. But at this point, I'm 42-ish minutes into this video, so I think we'll call it a day here. And I would say that I think my favorite pairing, I really liked the Mildred Payne with it. And, oh gosh, you know, I don't know. I think all 3 of the tarot decks that I paired with it had worked in different ways. I think I liked the Pagan Otherworlds because it was more simple. So it could really let the artwork in this deck shine. But there was something undescribable that I was really liking with the Rain Shadow with this. And this felt very personal. The Anna Kay with this felt very personal. And it's probably because this is my personal deck. So there may be a bias there. But maybe I think these 2 were my favorites. Just, you know, and I also really enjoyed the green glyphs with it. So it was a pretty good pairing. I'm going to try it again. All right, well, that is the Kalat cards created by Dennis Kalat. And this was a really awesome gift from Coco. Please go check out Coco's channel. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.